Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us at the Lounge Magazine. We have decided to call the show the Movie Lounge, and I guess this would probably be considered one of the first episodes, if not the first episode of Movie Lounge in the year 2011. The show is sponsored by The Art of Tease, so I would like to present to you a quick, short video presenting The Art of Tease. They are our sponsor. They've been our sponsors since last year, and just want to give them a little bit of credit for helping us survive online. Now, The Art of Tease is basically a print shop for your merchandising. If you're a talented artist and want to create merchandise, these guys manufacture t-shirts and custom print for shirts, garments. They do screen printing, digital printing. They do studs, rhinestones, and they also do really high resolution screen printing if your art for your album covers is really high res. They also do your promotional items such as mugs, pens, and so on. So I do appreciate The Art of Tease for helping us out and becoming The Art of Tease online. And the Lounge Magazine online. Thank you very much. All right, guys. This is Carlos Phoenix. I am live right now with Matt and Chad. Say hello, gentlemen.
How you doing?
And we are just going to have one of our first episodes of the year. And we've been getting our butts kicked here in Atlanta. And it sounds like you guys are going to get your butt kicks this day. I think it starts tonight. And what I mean by butt kicks, just before you start, Atlanta just had like a 2-day ice storm. It's been sick how it affected the entire city of Atlanta. We had 2 inches of snow, then ice. Some places accumulated close to 6 inches, but the ice is really the killer. Nobody knows how to handle driving on ice. And because it's usually hot Atlanta here, they don't have the resources to basically melt all that snow or all that ice all over the city in a timely manner where, places have been closing for the past few days and so on. So you were going to say...
Oh, well, the snow started out here in this part of the world. On the eastern end of Long Island. Started about maybe an hour ago. But the west end, I believe about 2 hours ago, it started kicking in.
Wow.
So we're in for
I hear it's going to be like 10 inches or so over there.
Actually 10 to 18 inches expected.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot worse than here, but you guys are kind of a little, I hate to say it this way, you guys are usually a little bit more used to this kind of weather than Atlanta is, but it's still pretty bad nonetheless.
Yeah, considering our last storm, the snow hasn't melted from that, which was last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
The official big one, yeah.
The official big one.
We had a little dusting in between, but yeah.
And the snow, we still got to deal with the snow from that. So
yeah, Atlanta had some snowfall during Christmas, and we recovered from that fairly quickly. It was like a weird. Your video's frozen. It's like a weird 1 day type of thing, and then we recovered fairly quickly from that. But we're gonna have hopefully a very good, decent show. Like I said, some places here may have had some power outages, and I can tell you that the internet's been pretty slow for us. So doing some research for today's episode has been a little bit quirky, to say the least. And hopefully your storm is not going to affect your internet speed, although it is getting a little choppy from what I can tell. But we'll work through it and make it look as best as possible. I'm trying to readjust your image here so that people have some kind of an image to look at with you guys. Now they do join us from Long Island via Skype. And I have my little studio set up here. And what we're going to be talking about in these shows, preferably Tuesday, is films. And the format of the show is basically going to tap into conversations of movies that are out in the industry right now, both independent and some high-end films. And we're also going to talk about stuff that we see online. All you independent filmmakers out there that might want to present some of your films and show us what you got, and then we can talk about your talent and also your what you did to make it all happen. So, have you guys been watching any movies at all lately?
Most movies I've been watching, speaking for myself at least, there's a lot of Netflix movies. Just catching up on old flicks. Been caught up with the South Park, which is a demented cartoon. But yeah, just pretty much old stuff, you know.
The one film that we saw that I don't know, we're still trying to figure out is if anybody is watching and they've seen this movie and they understand it, please hit us up. What is it, Eden Log?
Eden Log, yeah. Bizarrely interesting flick with a twist ending to it. It's a French film, came out about 2 years ago, I believe it was. 2 to 3 years ago. Sci-fi.
Very cool. And where would somebody be able to watch that?
Actually, we watched it on Netflix.
Netflix, cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's out on DVD also.
Well, of course, with the weather conditions here, we've had to stay home for the past couple of days. Excuse my voice. And Netflix has been a great friend. So, one of the films that I kind of caught outside of Repo, the opera, another one of the films I just recently watched was Star Trek, which I thought was pretty cool. It's one of those movies you'd probably see it in Blu-ray instead of Netflix, but the visuals are pretty beautiful in Blu-ray. But I did catch it in Netflix.
What? Let me get your opinion. Oh, froze up again.
Yeah, you guys froze up a little bit.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, we're always fighting the internet here. Live sometimes is not the best way. But go ahead.
You said you enjoyed the visuals in the what was it, Star Wars?
Star
Not
Trek.
Star Trek. What did you think about the characters?
Their portrayal of the characters.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I think it was pretty on point. I mean, I watched all the old Star Trek movies, and I don't know if I'm geeking out on anyone, but and it's one of those movies where you have to kind of put nerd and geek in the same sentence. But the movie, I thought, did a good portrayal of each of the individual characters. Particularly the Dr. McCoy and our Irish friend, who's the engineer of the ship.
Yeah, Scotty.
Yeah, I thought they were really good, really well done, even though they changed the entire timeline of the existence and kind of like hit the reset button of the whole Star Trek universe type of thing. But yeah, I think they did a pretty good job, and J.J. Abrams probably was a pretty deep fan of the series, so he did a good job of keeping track of all that.
What was your personal opinion on the romance between Uhura and Spock? I mean, that's something I was never allowed to do during any of the series, but I found it a bit interesting. I was just wondering what you thought about it.
Uh-oh, I'm losing your audio. To answer your question, it was a little odd because I always thought there might have been something that happened with not Spock, but Captain Kirk and Uhura. I felt that some of the previous movies might have hinted at that. So that's my 2 cents on that. You there? Uh-oh. A catastrophe of live. It seems I may have lost my guess, which means I'm on my own. Let's see if I can reconnect to our fellow friends here. And if you're
The
watching up,
person whom you're trying to reach.
oh, wow. It's just one of those things today. Oh, yeah, I lost them completely. Now, I don't know if it's weather related. Probably isn't. But since I am trying to put together a show here, let me show you guys one of the videos I was going to present. Now, one of the segments that we're going to do here is relating to the web. And there's a guy, basically, he's a French director who had created a movie using strictly video game footage. And it's online now. It's called Trashmaster. And it's something I caught today, as a matter of fact. Trashmaster is basically a movie that he spent 2 years doing, probably collecting all the footage that makes sense to put together in the storyline. And it's basically like a trash guy, a guy who does the garbage in New York City. Oh, these guys are trying to connect again. Give me just 1 second. And I guess you're back. I was trying to continue the show while you guys were out. I was just introducing Trashmaster.
Okay.
And I was going to see if I had any bit of a clip to show, hopefully without having a ton of advertising in it. But simply put, all the footage is really impressive. It's very relative to the storyline that they're trying to present. And it starts off pretty exciting, where there's this major bank robbery. And he kind of intercedes and helps the cops who are getting slaughtered by these bank robbers. And it's in Daily Motion. So if anybody wants to catch it, it's not a game. It's basically a movie that uses the game for footage.
So, it's machinima.
Yeah, exactly. And it just noticed that the link is so long that it doesn't fit on my title. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size of the font. And this is what happens with live, folks. My apologies. Let's see if I can make it a tad wee bit smaller. Still too long. Well, basically, I am sure if you Google... Yeah, that's too small. All right. Well, it's in Daily Motion. You can probably do a search for the Trashmaster. And here's some details on it. And it's by Murukawa. I'm destroying this poor man's name. But actually, that's probably the person who posted it. But like I said, I believe it's a French director. Really good movie. If you're interested in seeing how someone can use a video game to someone just come up ideas with film, then this is one of the ways to do it. So that is my pick, the Trashmaster. A lot of action. A lot of the way he gets away with it is using voiceovers, and but he's telling the storyline. He has a credible story to tell, and there is a lot of sex and violence. So if you are young, I wouldn't do it in public.
Out of curiosity, how familiar are you with the machinima movement? I mean, is this one of your first machinima films that you've watched?
Well, this is the first feature-length one that I've looked at.
Okay.
You know, I have seen the Halo ones and a few of the other, but they're mostly like silly or funny. This guy had like a concise storyline that I thought, you know, from beginning to end, he just stuck with the story and did a good job with it.
Were you able to catch the last one that they actually brought to market, which was based off of Terminator Salvation?
Negative.
Well, it was horrible to begin with, but I was just curious.
Well, I mean, I thought this one was good. I mean, it wasn't a phenomenal movie, but
right.
The angles, the camera work, basically the urban life. A lot of these other ones are using a lot of sci-fi and stuff, and this is pretty much a good down-to-earth storyline that could technically be made into a movie. Now, the premise of a trash man being the good guy type of thing is kind of weird, but I've seen worse.
We've all seen worse.
Oh, sorry for that little video glitch there.
Sorry.
Now, you guys said you had one.
Correct.
Can you tell me about it?
It was one that I came across on Vimeo. I'm sorry. The name of it's called Modern Times by BC 2010. It's came out about a month ago. Movie was put together pretty much out of love. I believe some film students that actually went about doing this. They created a CG short about things to come in the future, or their views of the way things would be in the future. And they did it with absolutely no budget.
Okay. And now your audio is kind of going in and out, but I'm going to present the film while you try to fix that up a little bit. And,
I actually did the same thing on our side from you.
okay. I'll see what I can do on my end. And here's the video here. Here it goes. I'm telling you, live production is pretty funky.
OL 32638.
Pretty cool. I mean, for something that's completely done with no budget, that's pretty impressive.
They actually have a short making of video. Just gives you a look behind the scenes of how it was accomplished. Nothing too in depth, but yeah, they do have one though.
That's very cool. So that's I guess that's like student films almost, except much nicer to look at.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they had a crew on hand and all to handle everything, but it was just interesting to see what they did in that short amount of time. The production value, how they went about, accomplishing it. I mean, it's decent. It's
Yeah.
decent.
Well, it did definitely look like a good quality amount of quality work in there. Now, there's a couple of movies that are coming out that I'm looking forward to. One is The Green Hornet. Now, what's interesting is that The Green Hornet, if you watch the Sci-Fi Channel, they are presenting all the old episodes of with Bruce Lee in it. So I'm gonna make some comparisons when I watch the movie to the TV show to see where they stuck to the traditional show and where they kind of strayed away. And I know this was a tough job for Bruce Lee at this, both culturally and spiritually for him, where it was one of the first offerings of work for him in the United States when he was transferring from Chinese movies to doing some stuff for the U.S.
Yeah. Agreed. I understand though he didn't particularly like the role Hollywood wanted to portray of Kato.
Well, it was. I mean, the original role was kind of, in my opinion, a slap in the face.
Exactly.
He's just to be a servant. That's he wasn't the main character, which was not him. Really had no fighting capability.
Exactly.
No.
He's just like some guy who just gives orders. Go get your ass killed and fight for me with a
Well,
mask
for
on.
anyone who's seen the trailer for the new movie, it appears as though that's something that they've addressed with this movie, or the Green Hornet actually. All right, granted he's the Green Hornet, but he's taking a bit of a backstage compared to Kato. They put more light on Kato, which is a good thing.
They used the guy. Well, there's a funny guy as the main character, but they do highly focus on Kato and his abilities, his talents, his knowledge of weaponry, and that type of stuff.
Yes.
Do you have your speakers on? Because I hear myself, I think.
Actually, we do, and it's put on pretty low. I'll lower it some more. How's that?
I'm kidding. I'm terrible. Okay, so well, we kind of touched a little bit on the type of topics we want to get into as the show progresses. Let's talk a little bit about what our ambitions are for the show, what we want this show to be, and where we plan on going with it.
Well, I believe we're all in agreement to have it a bit more formatted to the point where we can address multiple shows all in one night, and get some feedback and response possibly from the fans out there that'll come along.
Yeah, I agree completely. And that's been pretty quiet today. Whoa. Hold on. Your audio here.
Horrible internet connection. People, we apologize.
Yeah, lost them for a second.
Back on?
Yeah, your video's still frozen now.
Still frozen?
All right, click it off.
Yeah, so these are some of the technical quirks that I'll be trying to tackle over the next few weeks, in order for this to have a smoother flow for the audience. We started this thing from scratch, ladies and gentlemen, and I intend it to be a high quality show with lots of content, plenty of video, and lots of commentators. So that's what you have to look forward to in our future episodes. And of course, the internet, the weather, all these things are coming into play today. So my apologies. But I believe that kind of concludes our show for today. We kind of touched about a little bit on what we want to touch upon. I do want to eventually get more videos from students from aspiring filmmakers, from musicians, music videos, that type of stuff. I want to interview you guys. I want to interview you about how you did it. What did you do to make it happen? Did you get financing? Did mom and dad help you? Or was it all just friends? I do want to know how you are doing these projects and what your dreams are. How do you plan on accomplishing them? And hopefully this will inspire others that are trying to do the same thing with you, just like you're trying to do, and how they can do it too. That's the whole main purpose of the show. And Matt and Jad, you came just in time because since we're having some technical difficulties, I'm going to conclude the show and see if we can get something to work out a little better next time.
All right.
I believe my frames per second is pretty low as well, so that might be an internet issue, and I'll have to tackle that as well.
Come back again, people. We'll have this all resolved, hopefully.
Yeah. Sorry about that, folks.
But again, we will have lots of interesting content, plenty of interesting conversations, and we'll have some guests as well. The more we talk about these topics, the more I'll be able to approach the directors and actors that are performing in these short clips and movies that we're watching, and give people an insight as to what you're doing. Give yourself a little bit. We'll give you a pat on the back because you guys are working so hard to make at least somewhat of a certain amount of entertainment for the rest of us. And it's hard to get your face out there. It's hard to get your work out there. And we want to help you make that happen. But again, that concludes the show. You guys want to say goodbye to the audience?
Till next time, folks. Please come back.
Thanks again for watching, and just bear with us. We're going to work out all the kinks and the wrinkles, and we're going to give you a quality show.
We'll be bringing the heat. Don't worry
Bringing
about
the
it.
heat.
Come back.
And I am Carlos Phoenix. You can reach me at Carlos Phoenix on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook at Carlos Phoenix. And I also have a new email, which is carlosphoenix@facebook.com. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And that's about it. So continue doing movies, continue your inspirations, and I'll be looking out for you.